I absolutely love these Cobra Forge Tech one length irons, but I'm not sure if I can continue using them. Let me explain myself. I've been using the Cobra Forge Tech one length irons for 6 months now, in a variety of locations. One length isn't new to the golfing world, but it's new to me, and here's how I found it. If you're unaware as to what one length irons are, they are all the same length and weight, that of a 7-iron, although this can be changed to your needs. I used them because I was struggling a little bit with consistency and thought this could be a welcome change. Over 6 months, it's not a long time. And first thing I will say is, this is a big change. It's not just like changing from Callaway to TaylorMade. This is a big change. And for the first 2 months, was I really wasn't very good. So much so, I made the cardinal sin and I actually switched back to my old TaylorMade P770s for a golfing holiday. And yeah, we all know how that went. Changing to an iron set where it's completely different setup, it feels wrong. Setting up the ball in the exact same way every single time felt very difficult. For the first few months, I really struggled, and subconsciously, I was still setting up the longer irons a bit too far in my stance, far forwards, and then with the shorter irons, I was setting them too far back. So I wasn't utilizing the Forge Tech one length in the right way. So if you are thinking of switching to one length, keep in mind, for the first few months, you might be a little bit but stay with it because the next stage was pretty fun. What happened next was consistency. Pretty consistent. Pretty consistent. Me as a player with a fairly fast swing speed, I hit it left and right a lot. Didn't have a consistent miss. What I noticed with the one length is I was hitting it straighter and my misses weren't as bad. And that's because generally you're putting the same swing onto it from a 4-iron to a pitching wedge. Having the same length irons from 4 to pitching wedge, I will say, it is a bit weird. And some people think, oh, the longer irons are going to be amazing. The shorter irons are going to be rubbish because if you think about it, shorter irons being a little bit longer doesn't sound great. But the longer irons being a bit shorter, yeah, more control. Well, that wasn't the case for me. Initially, it was the shorter irons that felt a lot nicer. Don't know why, but something like a pitching wedge, a 9-iron, I felt a lot more comfortable with a club that's a 7-iron length than I did before. And I could maneuver the golf ball, hit pitch shots, 100-yard shots with pretty much any club quite easily. Now I've got the 7-iron here with me and I've got all the other ones as well. But what I found is, so there's a green about 200 yards away, is that I'm pretty confident now, not that I would necessarily hit the green, because I'm not that good, but I feel like I'm gonna get a good strike on it every single time. I'm not worried about the big misses. As you can see, I mean, that was a rubbish strike, but we still did okay. The longer irons though, they did take a bit of getting used to, and they are still in that getting used to phase because I don't think they're perfect. But we'll get onto that in a little bit. What I really liked though is it wasn't just me seeing my game improve, it was people I was playing with. People, my playing partners, my friends, seeing that my game was a lot more consistent. And even if I would have 45 putts in a round, they would say, wow, you struck the ball really well, especially with those irons. And that was really good to see. And it was backed up by my Arcos as well, which I've been doing over the last 6 months. So my Arcos actually gives a pretty good review of my game over the last 6 months because not playing that well in relation to my handicap, but my approach play is the one light at the end of the tunnel here. Putting, we're not going to talk about that, but the approach play was really positive, a big plus in my game. My greens in regulation was really positive, my proximity to the hole was really good as well, and overall it was very consistent. I was pretty consistently gaining strokes in comparison to my handicap every single round. And this wasn't just in one course, this wasn't just Manning's Heath, this was in Dubai, Spain, Birkdale, places like that. I was playing really well. It's just a shame I can't fix my putting. So, it all seems amazing so far. I've improved my game, I'm a better golfer, kind of. Why am I not sure about switching? Let me hit a shot and I'll show you exactly why. Lovely strike, 200-yard 7-iron. No problem with that, you would think. But spin rate, 5,000 RPM for a 7-iron. That is a problem. All the other numbers there, peak height, descent angle, are actually really, really good. With these being the Forge Tech, we come into a problem because these lofts for me, at 92, 93, up to 97 mile an hour club speed for a 7-iron, these lofts are too strong, meaning that the spin rate will be quite low. This, although it says a 7-iron, it's not a 7-iron. It's about a 5.5 iron. I think it's 29.5 degrees. I usually play with the P770, 7-iron there was about 33 degrees. So I've been getting away with it for the last 6 months. What do I mean by that? I've been fortunate enough to play quite soft courses in the UK. It's extremely soft here. So when I'm hitting a green, it's usually going to one hop and stop. That descent angle is still great, so it's not gonna catapult its way across the green, anything like that. But when we're moving up to something like a 4-iron, a 5-iron, this then becomes into a problem for custom fitting. My 4-iron is launching too low. That's especially off the fairway. Off the tee, it's not too bad, but it's launching too low with too low spin. It's not optimal, and custom fitting, it's not completely correct. This is a bit of a one length issue and the Forge Tech issue too. The Forge Tech heads aren't really for me. Although these are custom fitted towards me, because these lofts are pretty strong, the way in which I'd have to get around it is by weakening them by a good 2 or 3 degrees, which is quite a lot. I thought this wouldn't be a problem because I could do something else. So I did some research. One-length irons were made famous by Bryson DeChambeau, the scientist. He uses, right now, the Cobra King Tour MIM irons in one length. I'm using the Cobra Forge Tech, and as I said before, the irons lofts are quite strong. Although Cobra say these are for the better player, there is another level, and that's the MIM, the MBs, the CBs. So I thought, okay, if I can't use these, if I perhaps am too fast of a player to use these, I can use what Bryson uses, the Cobra King Tour MIM. When you look online, the irons that Bryson uses, the one-length irons, are not available to retail. I know Bryson's are very custom because he has very strong lofts as well, but for someone who is the flagship person for one length, I would think they would offer his irons towards retail. And I think that's what Cobra is currently missing. Although, yes, the Forge Tech are very good for a lot of players in one length, they still need to apply it to every single golfer. They've got the LTDX, they've got the Forge Tech one length, they need the King Tour one length as well. And then we've got the problem with the yardages. I've been on many, many launch monitors. The best one here in the Southeast is Gatwick Golf with the GC Quad. And there is a myth that has been going around, some rumors about one length for some time, that the yardages aren't particularly optimal because they are all the same length. They are quite close together. Unfortunately, I found that. For my pitching wedge, I put the yardages that I have up on the screen for you now. And they're good, but they're too close together. A pitching wedge at about 150 yards, which is good to begin with, but then it's about an 8 to 10, maybe not even that, yard jump. So going 160, 170, but then on the longer irons, 4 and 5 and even a 6-iron, they can go pretty similar distances. So sometimes I am finding on the course, my 6-iron, let's say, can go anywhere from 190 to 215 yards, and then the 4-iron goes anywhere from 200 to 230 yards. So it seems that for me, with these specific clubs, the yardages are very close together and a little bit too close together to be optimal, which can then lead to some missed greens. How do I solve this? Again, maybe a fitting would help, but I think that maybe one of the negatives of one length is that the yardages, sometimes they're a little bit too close together because the clubs, well, they're too similar. So, what's next for me? Am I going to continue using these one-length irons? I don't know. I think I need to go for a fitting and get these fine-tuned, but I don't know if that's going to be possible. Don't know if these can be fine-tuned with the Forge Tech heads on them. And if I continue using them, come summer, I'm going to be in big trouble. Won't be able to hold any greens, and although these clubs go a very long way, 9-iron can go about 180 yards, that's too far. Look at the PGA Tour averages, their 9-iron doesn't go that far, and they swing it about the same as me, so something's not right there. If you are considering changing to one length, or if you're considering going into the game of golf and want to start with one length, I still think it's a really, really good idea. Consistency-wise, it's incredible. I have really improved my game, but the one thing that I urge you all to do, and it's on my life, please do it, because it's more important than any other type of golf club, get custom fitted, because these, more than an iron, a driver, a wedge, a putter, it's crucial to get custom fitted, because if you just get it off the rack, first of all, you're an idiot, but as well as that, they can actually hinder your game. So, I'm gonna leave it up to you guys. Let me know down in the comments what you think I should do. Should I go and get these fine-tuned, custom fitted even more, and keep playing with the one length? because I kind of feel like I'm a Mr. One Length now on YouTube, a little bit more accustomed to it, and I really do like using them. But is there really going to be a way? Let me know down in the comments. And if you guys have any questions about these, the yardages, how I got on with them in different types of conditions, chipping as well, let me know, because I've used them a lot now. I'm a big fan of them. And if you are unsure if you want to change, ask some questions. Guys, that's it from me today at the wonderful Gatwick Golf Studio here. If you have enjoyed this video, leave a like, and if you are new to GolfMagic, smash that subscribe button too. If you want to see any more one length videos in the future, such as some comparisons, things like that, hit me up in the comments. I'll catch you guys in the next video.